Hello guys, today I want to make a short video tutorial about how to model an arch window in Rhino. So let's get started. So let's maximize the perspective view by a double click, and I have downloaded this picture with an arch window. Uh, I think it looks nice, but still it is rather simple. So these are big windows, as I understand, without openings. So let's begin. Let's first make this picture more or less of the size we need. So more or less of the size of real window. I work in millimeters, and I think it is most convenient for architects to work in millimeters. So first, let's draw some line uh, about. Let's check. I think that these windows are relatively high, so I think they are more than 3 meters. Well, let's make a line about 2 meters and a half. Press space. So I type in 2 meters and a half. Press space to confirm, and now I have this distance on my cursor, and I hold Shift to snap to vertical direction, and then press with left mouse of the bottom, and then press the left bottom of the mouse. Then let's move this picture with the sum of the windows uh, to this point, to the beginning of the line. And let's say this distance will be 2 meters and a half. So let's scale, just regular scale, use scale command, and we will scale this picture to make it the same size as this line. I snap to this point, and then approximately, so I just decided that approximately this height will be 2 meters and a half, and I snap somewhere here, and then snap to the end of our line, which I have just drawn, this one. And now, if we make our picture a little bit more transparent, just a second, in the materials, in the properties and materials, we have transparency, and we can make our picture transparent, so we can see our line. We can make our line red with the color. Let's make it red, and we see that our line is 2 meters and a half, and this window size is also 3 meters and a half, 2 meters and a half. Okay. Well, I think that now we don't need this line as well, and now we can draw our window. Well, our picture is just for orientation. So let's draw rectangle. Let's draw a rectangle with precise dimensions, not approximate, but some precise. First, we have to type in dimensions in the x-axis. For example, 2 meter. Well, let's say 1 meter and a half. Let's see. If I type in, I just see the size which I have just typed in. I did not press space to confirm this distance, but I can already see it. So, and if I see that it is too much, I can just correct and say this one will be better. Okay, press space to confirm, and now I have to type in the next dimension. So let's say this one will be 1 meter and a half. Yes, I think it is. I think these are good dimensions for the window. Well, now let's draw this part. Let's choose circle tool and just draw it from the midpoint to this point. And I think let's move this picture to see our drawing better. And now what we can do, we can select and type in trim on keyboard and press space. And with trim tool, just delete these lines. Okay, now we have this line and this line, well, curve. They are called curves. We can now join them, join and space. Okay. Oh, in fact, we need this line. I think that we shouldn't delete it, but okay, not that important. Let's look closer. Well, in fact, it looks like there is one big frame which goes like in this direction, another frame which goes this and this direction, and these are the thinnest frames. So let's do the same. So it is okay that we have joined, and let's use offset tool, and let's say the distance to offset. To change the distance, we can click on distance, or as we see, the letter D is underlined. Therefore, we can type in D on keyboard, letter D, and press space. And Rhino will understand that we want to change distance. And let's say the distance will be 100. I think it is too big. Let's type in D again and say 60 millimeters. Let's look. Maybe even again D space 50. I think 60 was better. No, okay, let's say it is 50. Okay, and after this we have to draw the second frame. Well, I think it is better to make 60. It looks better, I think. Again, offset D space 60 space and click inside. So we have to say to Rhino the side to offset. To click, we have to click inside or outside of our curve. So we need the curve inside, so we click inside. Next, let's again make offset to create another frame. And here the distance will be smaller. You see, it is like twice smaller or more than than this frame. So let's see, distance now will be 20, for example. I haven't chosen the curve before I called offset command, but I can do it now. I can click, and Rhino will understand that I have chosen this curve to offset. I think that 20 looks very small. Let's again change distance to 25. Yeah, let's make it 25. Okay, now we need this big part of our frame. How can we do this? We can type in line. We can snap here to end, and here also we have end. And we can just, I think we can copy this line. We can copy it with the copy command, or we can hold Option or Alt in Windows and click on the arrow of the gumball. To turn on gumball, you have to turn it on here, or just type in gumball, this one. So type in, and we can turn it on, turn it off, or do nothing. Okay, so I will copy this line with the gumball. I hold Option and click on this arrow, and I type in minus 50, I think, because on the picture this one is thinner than this frame, slightly thinner, so 50 will be okay. Okay, and we see that like this looks like a single frame. In fact, there are not that much details. We cannot see not that much details, but we can add details by ourselves. So mm, let's decide how it will look better. Yeah, I think this and this should be single frame. So I would like to trim these pieces with the trim command. Okay, now let's draw the rest of our frames. Let's draw again line. Let's draw line here. Oh, let's decide. Here we have to, we need exactly the pieces of glass exactly of the same size. And that is not that, how to say, not that easy task to do. Because we need, of course, we can use divide tool. We can select the segment of our curve with Command Shift, type in divide, and say how much segments we need. We need 4 segments, so we type in 4 space. But the problem is that if we will, for example, extrude lines from these points and then draw some offset, for example, we will copy these, for example, 15 and minus 15. and we will copy these lines, which will indicate the pieces of our frame. The problem will be that this part and this part will not be of the same size. I measure distances with line tool. I have tutorial on my channel about how to do it. So type in line, snap to first point, and I snap to the second point, but don't click with the mouse. I already see the distance. So here we have 277, and here we have bigger distance because we did not copied these like half of the thickness of our piece of the frame. So we have to deal somehow with this. I think that uh, there are different ways to deal with this. One way is first just to draw sketch. So just as I have done before, extrude these lines, then use with Command Shift this line, use again divide tool. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 6 pieces, and same, select these points and extrude with circle. And then I think that we can draw rectangle, snap into this part, and we can make a small offset of this rectangle, for example, for 10. And then we can copy to see how it will look like. But it will add thickness to this our outside frame. So it will be thicker, in fact, than we have made it before. So not 25, but 35. And I'm not sure that it will look okay. So we to check, we can delete all this just to look on the part of the window and check. Maybe it is not bad. Let's measure also 20. Seems a little bit thin, I would say. So I would like to make these frames slightly thicker from structural point of view or structural sense, I don't know. But I don't want to this frame be that thick. So let's go slightly back, Command Z, and let's delete, I think, this curve. Let's delete it, and let's make new offset, a smaller one. So it was about 25. Let's make it 15. Yeah, let's make it 15. So offset, select, and distance, D space 15 space. Okay, and now let's use divide tool. With Command Shift, select this line, space, number of segments 6. Oh, no. Escape. Here we have a small problem. We have made new offset, and we have like holes here. We have to correct this part. How to do it? We can do it with the trim, but generally we can trim some pieces with these two. But if we press and hold Shift, and click on the end of the line, it will extend the line. So this is what we need. And now we have to trim these pieces. But we cannot do like now in this command, which we are now working. If I click here, it will not work because like for Rhino, it needs, so we have made some changes in this line and we have to confirm them. Press enter or space to confirm that these lines are extended, and now they are boundaries for new trim. So they are selected, but now the extension is confirmed, and now we can trim with them some new pieces. Yeah, this way. Now we have this trimmed curve. It looks okay, and I can select it, select with Command Shift this segment, and I can divide it on 6 pieces and press space to repeat the command. Select this one, space, number of segments will be 4. Okay, now same what we have done, doing it again, extrude lines from points. And now, in fact, we don't need these points anymore. We just can type in cell pt. This means select points. So this command selects all points which exist in our model. So we press space and Rhino selected all points and we can delete them. Now, what is the next step? I think we can draw the rectangle as we have done before. Select this rectangle, type in offset, and now we have to decide which will be the thickness of these frames. And offset distance should be half of this distance. So I think that 25 or something around this is okay. 25 millimeters, maybe 30, I think it will be too much. So let's say 14 millimeters or 15. Let's make it 30, I think. Let's copy and let's make one row and look. Well, these windows look much thinner. Okay, I think we can make it also thinner. Let's do it. Okay, again offset, and let's say distance will be 13. I think this one will be okay. So it will be 26 millimeters. Let's turn off center snap. So you see that center snap is sometimes annoying. I prefer to turn it off. Okay, and we copy. Just copy with snapping. Okay, and now we have to copy the whole row of our rectangles. We can use array, in fact, but here there are not that much rectangles, so we just can do it manually. Just copy, copy, and that's all. Press space, and we see that here also this part of the frame, it becomes thicker, and I can't say that I like it. And how can we correct it? Let's think. Okay, let's leave it as it is for now. Let's look. I think it looks okay. So these lines, we don't need them anymore. And I think this one and this one we also don't need, and this one. So let's look, and this rectangle also. I think later we will delete as well these part. Yeah, because we need just the border. So this is a very simple frame without openings. So the contour is also rather simple. Okay, let's make upper part. How can we do this? We can draw the line and we can just hold shift to snap, and we can use rotate command. Center will be this point, and we need to click here to make it copy, and we need 45 degrees, minus 45. We can do both 45 and minus 45 because we have 3 pieces of our frame. And I think we have to divide by half. We just need to extend, in fact, these, like these. So in fact, we shouldn't delete the line, the axle line, which we have deleted. So let's draw new one, very small line, just to have here some snap, to be able to draw new circle, snapping to this point. And now we don't need this line. So this is the sketch of the upper side of our window. And I'm thinking, is it okay that this part will be a little bit thick? Because we will do offset also here, and it will be even more thicker, And I don't like that, honestly. How can we correct this? We, I'm not sure that we can just move down this line because we have to also move down all these. Okay, with move or with gumball, but we will have problem here. So this distance will be different to this distance. And to correct this, we need to select the segments. So this is the closed curve, but we need to move down only this segment, this half of the circle, which belongs to this curve. So we have to select it with Command Shift and this one with Command Shift, and we move them both down at the same distance. Yeah, and now I think it is okay. So we have made this distance smaller. So I think, yeah, now everything looks correct. Now, what we can do next? We can select these two lines and we can trim. And in fact, we need to split these. Uh, yeah, I think that we can do same as we have done here. Because these segments are repeated, we can construct two segments and then just copy them with an array tool or with a rotate tool. They all are the same. So what we can do, we can just, okay, let's first split this line. We select it, type in split, and say that with these two curves, we want to split it on pieces. This one we don't need anymore, and this one we also need to split with this and this. Here we have some point. We don't need this point because here it just should be very simple line. Okay, what we need now? We need what we have now. Also this one we have to split with this curve. So now what we can do? We can select this one also split with this one, and now we can select these four curves and we can join them and we can offset them the same distance as here because the frames are of the same size. So 13 millimeters and done. And next we have to do same with this piece, but we can join these two curves. Oh, this one we have to split with this one. So now we can join this and this join, but we need this segment, but it belongs to this curve, but we don't need in fact this contour anymore, so we can explode it and join this segment to this curve and make an offset. Okay. Okay, I think that it is almost done. And what we can do now, we can copy these two pieces with a rotate tool, or for example, we can use mirror tool and just check that we are copying with the mirror command. And as we have an axis here, we can make a copy and we can mirror them both again. Snap to this point, snap to this point, and here we go. Now we can delete the lines which are just sketchy lines. These all we don't need, and these also we don't need. Now we have to decide what we do need. Because this line we can delete, but we can maybe we can leave it as it is. So just let's, well, here it looks like they belong to the same. This is not very good quality, I would say. Well, looks like here we have some pieces of these frames which they are like going higher than this one. Maybe it will look more interesting, probably. And how can we model this? So, for example, we can delete this and delete this, and we can like connect. For example, we can explode these two rectangles, and we can use trim just to see with a shift. Oh, but here it is not connected, and here it is not connected. So these are just like so problems of drawing. Not that important, but you have to check if some small problems mm, can occur. So I think for the sake of simplicity, let's don't do this. Let's make all these frame just single frame. So because this is like first tutorial about window, so let's make it as simple as it is. Okay, when we have the let's Command Z to to check that these are joined. These are joined. So all the curves are closed curves, continuous curves without any holes, because this is important. And now when we have our sketch of the window, we can make a 3D model of the window. And how can we do this? With an extrude tool. And as I have said about the holes, it is really very, very important. So just for some example, we can draw some rectangle. Rectangle is a closed curve, closed continuous curve without holes, and we can extrude it with a gumball, and it will give us a closed extrusion. So the shape without holes, the shape which will look like a box. But if we will draw, for example, rectangle, but let's make a small hole in it. Let's explode it, select this line, and let's move its end like so. And let's join it again. And let's extrude. This will be the result. So here we have hole, and we cannot close these parts of the shape, because here we don't have any line which connects this face, this plane. So this hole can be very, very small and give you such problems. So it is really important. Okay, but we have checked that here all curves are 34 closed curves. We can see it in properties, and we can extrude it. But another thing which is new in Rhino 8, and I think that it is cool, but not that straightforward. Um, in Rhino 7, if you had two independent curves, when you extrude, you would have two independent solid bodies. You could extrude it at the same time, and these will be some independent solid bodies. But in Rhino 8, if you have a curve inside another curve, if you select them at the same time and extrude at the same time, you will have this result. So a hole inside another box. And this is cool. In fact, it is very convenient. But in our case, we have to decide with an attention which curves to select to obtain result we need. So let's delete this, and let's do it step by step. Let's select, for example, this one and this one, and this will be our outer frame. And in fact, what we need a hole. So this curve will create a hole inside this surface. I think the result will be what exactly what we need. So let's extrude. And yeah, if you just click and hold, you will extrude for some distance, and you cannot control which is the distance of extrusion exactly. But if you select the curves and click, not click and hold, but just click, you can type in the distance. And let's say that the extrusion of our frame will be, for example, 200, because in this direction the frames are always bigger. So let's just draw. So this dimension is always bigger. Oh, let's turn off project snap. We don't need it now. Again, this dimension is always bigger than this one. In all windows and all how to call them, glass facades. So we need this for structural purposes. but I think this is too much. Let's make it, oh, let's make it 150. Yeah, I think this will be okay. Now we have, as a result, we have this frame. So it will be independent shape, looks cool. Okay, now let's even hide it to just now to create another frame. For extrusion of another frame, I think that we can select with the selection window. Just click, oh, click, hold mouse button, and draw the window and leave the mouse button. And we need to extrude this inside frame. So let's do it. We have selected, and this one will not be that high for sure. Let's make it maybe 80. Yeah, I think it is okay. And now let's show our outer frame. Yeah, and I have forgotten that also we need glasses. Yeah, sure. And to extrude glasses again. Um, regarding, oh, sorry, don't isolate. I wanted to hide. Let's hide again. So about the glasses. One way is to create, select these rectangles and create a planar surface. And these will be just surfaces without thickness. They will be lighter in terms of weight of the model. If you will have like 50 windows in your model, it will be relatively lighter. But if you want to have photorealistic visualization, for this purpose, it is better to have some thickness of the glass, not very big, for example, 50 millimeters, maybe thinner, but with this thickness, the glass will look better in V-Ray, for example, or in Twinmotion, so in any of visualization software. But it will be heavier. So the model with such glass will definitely be heavier than with just planes. So I think that we can make glass with some thickness. It will look better. So to do this, we have to select all the same, but without this uh, outer frame, outer curve. So we have to just select the, like, these pieces. So because now we need to extrude these pieces. Okay, select them without this line and without this line, and extrude 15. So I think, yeah, let it be 15. Okay, we have done with this. And also I recommend when you work with a glass to always to create some layer, which will be, let's rename. So some layer which will be glass layer. And we need to select all these pieces, the surfaces that we have just extruded, and just in fact we have just created them. And a very fast way to select all geometry which we have just created is to use command cell last. So cell last means exactly select last created geometry. So type in cell last and we have selected all of them. And we can even group them, for example, to faster selection purposes. Let's group them. Type in group and let's move this group to this glass layer. Right mouse button and change object layer. And let's make it another color, the layer, something blue, for example, something like this. Now, this is a group of glass pieces. Now we can show our hidden frames. And now another important thing. Now we can select this with the shift key and this one, and move all our window just to have our drawing separately and our window separately. But now we have some problem that the window looks nice from this side, but not that nice from this side, because from this side it is all flat, and that doesn't look good. So what we can do? We can, I think that we can change our view mode to hosted to see the inner edges. And we can select our we can select our group with glasses and our inner frame, move them down for just for first step, and then let's select our inner frame and move it, but let's snap to the midpoint. And here inside our frame, also snapping to the midpoint. And same with the glasses. Move, snap to the midpoint, and snap to the midpoint here. So now our window is centered. So the inner frame is centered to the outer frame, and glass is centered to all of the frames. And let's look in the shaded mode. Oh, we have some problem, definitely. Yeah, I have just snapped to not the correct midpoint. Let's say Command Z again. In fact, I think that we don't need shaded. We just type in move, snap to midpoint, and we can rotate the view with the right button of the mouse, and we need the midpoint of our inner frame, this one. Let's look. Yeah, I think now it looks correct. We can look at our window in the top view in a shaded mode. Looks nice. In perspective mode, it also looks nice. And now we can insert our window into a wall. So let's rotate our window 90 degrees with a gumball, move it slightly up, and let's create the wall for our windows. Let's draw a rectangle. Um, let's say we will have wall which will be 12 meters long and half of a meter thick. And let's extrude this rectangle. 4 meters, yeah, I think 4 meters will be okay. And what we can do next, we can select our window. We can create a group from it or a block. And I for sure will recommend to create a block of a window, but blocks are not a topic for beginners. I think that I will make a separate tutorial about blocks because they are really quite useful in Rhino, but saying in a short way, if you have some objects which are repeated in your project a lot, for example, windows, columns, doors, so a lot of objects which are absolutely the same, it is very good and very clever to make them blocks. The main difference of a block from a group is that if you change one instance of a block, all another instances also changed. So they are not independent. They are like relatives. They remember their relationships. So if you, to create a block, you use command which is called block. To edit the block, to make changes inside the block, you use command block edit. And if you change something with this command block edit in one block, these changes will appear in all instances of your block in your project. So this is if you are familiar with blocks in AutoCAD, it will be easy to understand how blocks in Rhino work. They are very similar. Or same thing with components in SketchUp. Also same logic, same, well, very similar principles. So, but for now, I think in this tutorial we will not do this. We just will create a group from this window for the simplicity of the tutorial. So type in group. Now we just can select our window in one click. And if we want to ungroup, we type in ungroup. Okay, next, let's use move command and move our window somewhere on the wall. But we need the opening, the hole for our window. How can we do this? We can Also, we can do this in different ways. We can do it with the solid tools, with Boolean operations, but maybe these tools also, it is better to make a separate tutorial on them. I think that we can do this with Gumball. But anyway, to create any hole inside the object, we need the contour of this hole, of this opening, and we can draw it, just draw it on the window. But instead of this, we can use command which is called duplicate. So we can duplicate these edges. There are a set of different duplicate commands in Rhino. You type in dup and you see that there is dup edge, dup border, dup face border, dup layer. Now I think dup edge will be what we need. So select this command and we actually selecting the edges which we wanna duplicate. The border of our window. Select and press space. And now what we have our lines separately from our window as a separate object. And we can join them because now they are separate edges, and we can select them and join them, and they should form, this is important, they should form closed curve. And if you have a closed curve, in Gumball appears this line, which is called cut. And what does it make? I think we need to hide our window or isolate our wall. Let's isolate our line and our wall. Command isolate means to hide all objects except the ones which you have selected, which you want to work with. So this is for convenience to see only objects which we are now working on. So we want to make a hole with this line. And if you hold the circle, you will create an extruded shape. But if you will hold this small line and you will move your mouse to cross the object and you want to make a hole, it exactly will do this. It will create a hole. I think this looks great. This is exactly what we need. But we need, in fact, not one hole, but well, maybe 4 or 5. So let's copy first our border, our contour. Let's move it, for example, 1 meter. Yeah, and copy it again. And as I wanna maintain this distance of 1 meter, when copying, I am snapping not to this point, but to this point. And I am copying the curve with with this space already, and maintaining this same space. So here 1000, and here 1000, and here 1000. And now we can select all these lines and click and hold this line on Gumball and crossing our wall. And here we go. We have very nice openings. So these curves, I think that we don't need them anymore. We can delete them. And now we need to go from our isolated mode to our regular mode, and this is the command which is called unisolate. And you see that now we see all objects which were hidden. And now we can copy our window, but first let's again center it to the opening, snap into the midpoint of the window, and then snap into the midpoint of the opening. Of course, the window not always are located in the middle of the wall. They can be located closer to the outside, sometimes closer to the interior of the wall of the room, and it depends on design, on many cases. But this is like the most like easiest way to locate the window because we don't have any boundaries in our example. So I locate it in the middle. And let's copy now our window into our openings. And again, I'm snapping to the now to the corner of the opening because it is more convenient now than to snap to the middle. and let's check. So I think that everything is correct and it looks good from both sides. So you can with this model you can make exterior views and as well as interior views. We have made the glasses with the thickness, so they will look nice on renderings, on visualizations. So I think it's time to finish our tutorial. We can look at it in the rendered mode, but we have not assigned some material, so it's just sketchy picture. Okay, I think it's time to finish the tutorial. It is already rather long. I think that I will create an account on Patreon, and probably I will download the models which I'm creating on my channel, and you will be able to download them from Patreon. So guys, please like and subscribe and stay tuned. Click on the bell to see the notifications, and see you soon, and goodbye.